Welcome back. Now I'm joined on the line by somebody who was there on Wednesday night, Fee Johnson. Good evening, Fee.
Hello, Richard.
Good evening. Thanks for coming on the show. How did you come to be there at this gathering on Wednesday night? How did you get to hear about it?
I've been in Spain now nearly 3 months, but before I came out here, I joined a group called Costa Women, and I've been to a few meetings with them, and I heard about the IRG meeting and went to the first one at the Loft in Calahonda the week before, and then I heard about the one on Wednesday in Portobello, and I went along to that.
So, what was your experience of the meeting last Wednesday night? What happened for you personally there?
I felt it quite uplifting because there were lots of really interesting people there, and everybody has a story to tell. And when I was asked to tell my story, and I think, like most people, you go through life and things happen to you, and you deal with them, and you just carry on. But I felt that when you start to tell your story, and you can see people being inspired by that story, and also feeling that inspiration you're giving other people, it does give you a lift as well.
You actually inspire. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You inspired yourself, in other words.
Yes, and I felt that, as I say, people go through life and they go through a lot of things. Bad things happen, and they have to deal with different things, and you don't feel anything special. But when you start to talk about it, and you can see and hear other people being inspired by your story, then that in turn inspires you as well. And then you feel, well, I've done this, and that's really good, and it does uplift you.
Were you one of these people that Lucy was sort of generally characterising earlier, who tends to sort of play yourself down, or up until recently you tended to play yourself down in social intercourse?
Very, very much so, yes. I would sort of taken things in my stride and not thought too much of it, but when you do start to talk about it and people are interested, that's what makes a difference, and then you can look at it in a different way then.
Without wanting to pry, Fee, can you tell us a little bit more about your personal story and what it was about it that other people found so inspiring and that basically helped you to look at yourself in a different way?
Well, I've been through a couple of bad marriages, and not bad marriages, but marriages that didn't work out. And then I was in a 10-year relationship, which was pretty bad. And during that time, and in 2006, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which was horrible at first. But once I knew what I was dealing with, I carried on what I like to say is normal. I had quite a responsible job, but I had to go on long-term sick, and so I couldn't work, but I could do other things. I was involved in a singing group, and I did the Samaritans, and I'm also a qualified hypnotherapist, so I kind of gave up the hypnotherapy and carried on with the other things, and people treated me normally. So, when I was well again, I just carried on, and then I had to walk away from the relationship because it was so bad, and I ended up losing my house and starting life again on my own. And 3 years ago, I met a wonderful man who had an apartment in Spain, and then at Christmas time, because when I was in the UK, I was working full time. I was doing a bit of hypnotherapy. I was doing the Samaritans and doing the singing group. But it was all kind of beginning to lose its shine. And then about Christmas time, I just thought, well, maybe I could live out here and just jump off the wheel sort of thing, and start life again. It was just something I never thought I'd do. I never thought I'd retire or anything. And here I am, and absolutely loving it, and intending to do hypnotherapy and as a business, and as and when I want to do it, and just take things easy and really enjoy life.
Well, what a great...
So it's like I've reinvented myself.
So I was right in the title. I made a complete hames of introducing the meeting and call it Reinvention, but it's obviously... I was picking up on the zeitgeist of the...
It is Reinvention.
Oh, it is Reinvention. Oh, my God. Sack me, please. Shoot me.
But I didn't think of it as reinventing myself until I started to tell my story, and I could see that that's where I was going, you know. And when you hear other people telling their stories, it inspires you as well.
Well, I'm certainly feeling inspired listening to you, Fee. On a number of counts, the very sort of downbeat way that you talk about having got yourself through what for many people is not just a life-threatening illness, but is a life-ending illness. And here you are, alive and well, and you've put yourself back together after a bad relationship, and it's like the phoenix, isn't it? You know, from the ashes of the old, you've risen up to this brilliant new life. I mean, what a wonderful story.
Yeah, and I think what I do now is you go through life thinking about what you don't want. You don't want this, you don't want that to happen, things. And now I think I only hope what I do want.
Daring to dream, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
What, apart from just sharing, as I say, this very inspiring story, what I'm sure you must have learned an awful lot in the process that you've just described, you know, very, very briefly and in quite a downbeat way. What, dare I say, what advice could you share, or what lessons in general could you share with people now that would really help them to find that same spark in themselves, to reinvent themselves literally, and to start to live the life that they dream and desire, rather than just trying to keep together a life that they're not really enjoying?
Well, follow your dream. You know, most people have a dream but think they can't achieve it. But you have to start to believe in yourself and look at the good things in yourself, and live for yourself. And that way you can then inspire others. And as I say, think about what you want specifically and not what you don't want, because I always think if you keep on thinking about how your life's been and you don't want that again, you'll get more of the same, because you still... That's what's on your mind. You know, if you dwell on things, that's what's on your mind. So really think about what you do want and believe that you'll have it.
And just like you're making the changes that you've made, so some very radical change in your life, that dreaming, it's like there is a courage involved, isn't there? It's like you have to dare to dream, because you run the risk of not getting it. So I think a lot of us tend to play it safe, and rather than risking that, we just don't dream. So there is a courage involved, isn't there?
But there's definitely a risk, because like I had to stop doing everything I was doing and going from having lots of friends or whatever, which I still have, of course, and taking that leap to moving out to Spain. And I just said, well, that's what I want at this moment. If it doesn't work out, then I'll go back again and I'll do whatever I have to do. But at the moment, I'm only living for now. And that's the thing. If you live for now and just take that risk and just go for it.
There's a wonderful expression I heard many, many years ago that has inspired and re-inspired me many times over. And it simply says, life rewards courage. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it never fails. As soon as you make that decision, that all this incredible support and energy just pours in, doesn't it, to make your dream a reality?
You have to let your light shine through.
The other thing that I picked up from just some things you said at the beginning, which struck me as probably significant as well, was the when things began to change for you, you started to connect with groups, like first with the Costa Women and then with this IRG group. How important has that been in your own reinvention, self-reinvention?
Oh, it's been very important, because that's quite difficult to do as well, you know, because you're meeting new people, and that's difficult for some people, and you wonder whether you'll fit in, and I've met the most wonderful people from all walks of life, all nationalities, and And you can dip into it when you want. You're not committed to go into every single thing, but whatever interests you, and that connection with people, and as you get so inspired by just listening to other people. Just the interaction is the key.
Yeah, the breaking of that sort of spell, that dark spell of isolation that Lucy was talking about earlier.
Right.
We're just sort of locked into a very role-defined life.
Yeah, and people keep doing the same things, which was what I was doing, so... So I just think it's wonderful that, I can come over here and connect with so many people, and there's a choice, I can choose what things I want to go to, who I want to meet, and I think it's just fantastic.
So what's your vote on the IRG? I won't even attempt to say what the letters stand for now. I've made such an idiot myself already. Would you go to the next meeting if there is one?
If I would go to the next meeting, and I'm sure I will go to the next meeting, because you're seeing different people all the time, and I wouldn't want to be telling my story all the time, but I would like to listen to other people's story. But I mean, some people think. I heard some people say the other night, "Well, I've not done much in my life," and it's quite. But when they start to talk, things come out, and you point out to them that it could be the smallest thing. But it's a wonderful thing they've done, but they don't realise that. Yeah,
just getting that perspective from somebody else, just see how amazing you are.
Yeah, that's it, yes.
Yeah.
And when you've got a group of people telling you how amazing you are and how you're inspiring, well, then you sort of straighten up and you grow a couple of feet, It does make you feel good.
Well, Fee, it's made me feel good, and I'm sure our listeners too, listening to you and your wonderful and inspiring story. And just wish you every good wish for your continued happiness, health, and success in your new life out here in Marbella. I think it is you're living, are you?
Yeah, Calahonda.
Calahonda, well, not too far away.
It's not too far away.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking to us tonight, Fee, and every success. And maybe I'll see you at the next meeting. I couldn't get to the last one, but perhaps I'll get to the next one.
Well, that'll be wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Fee. Good night.